What is happening, everybody? I hope you're all having a wonderful day, and welcome on back to Mass Effect 2. So last episode, we got our Citadel run cleared. We got some things to turn back in here. We got to give Gardner his cooking supplies, and we also need to give Dr Chakwas her Ceres brandy. But before that, we'll see if we have any unread messages. So here's one from Samesh Bhatia. Commander Shepard, Mr. Udina offered to pass on a message for me. I wish to again express my thanks for your assistance in retrieving my wife's body. While nothing can ever banish the pain of losing Nerale, being able to see that her body was treated properly helped me more than you can imagine. I have opened the restaurant that my wife always wished to start back on Earth. Nerale's picture hangs on the wall, and Alliance soldiers eat for free. It is the least I can do to honor the courage with which both you and my wife have served humanity. Sincerely, Samesh Bhatia. And that's the man back on the Citadel whose wife's body, who was actually in Ashley Williams' unit, but his wife's body was basically being held by the Alliance to run tests on, like a test rat, basically. We put a stop to that pretty fast. And I would again. I'm not a fan of that. But it all comes back down to what the husband wants, right? It's all down to the next of kin's wishes. Like, if he would have been okay with her being experimented on, that's one thing, but can't hold something like that against the wishes. And now we got Kasumi, we have something else new on board here, so we got some drinks, we can have a little bar. This looks like some kind of like virtual reality thing to me, so I imagine that's exactly what that is. And then again, she's got portside observation here, so she can look out into space and ponder things while she reads books and drinks solo. Unfortunately, the DLC characters, and we do have one more to get, they don't have dialogue in the traditional sense. When you speak to them, you just get things like this.
People are talking out there, and I hear it all.
They just have set voice lines.
I usually travel hidden away in cargo bays. It's nice to be able to look out a window for a change.
And you like ponder in your existence while you look out at this. I mean, this is oddly comforting, right? The vast expanse of space, limitless possibilities and all that stuff. And then she has some cool things too, like if you interact with stuff around here, she'll give you a little backstory on it also.
That painting has a special place in my heart. An art collector hired me to steal it. When I got there, the painting was gone. On the way out, I saw it being hauled off by another thief. I chased him down, tackled him, and took the painting. That's how KG and I met. We never did turn it into our employers.
Love at first sight, huh?
The red rose. That used to be my calling card when I first started out. In place of whatever I took, I left a single red rose. It wasn't until I met KG that I realized how silly it was. He had a way of making you realize when you were just being sentimental.
I mean, it's pretty cool though, right? Iliad Poirier does something similar in the UFC. He leaves one in the octagon after every fight.
I stole that on a dare, believe it or not. There was a big museum show coming to Ilium. Artifacts from Earth going on tour. Very high security. KG dared me to steal this. So I broke in, hacked the security, put a few guards to sleep, and replaced the piece with a worthless duplicate. They never knew the difference. My first
figure out
job,
what that is.
Nowhere near the last.
I see like Rakesh, but I'm having a hard time figuring out what the other word is since that shadow is right there. Anyways, I think it kind of looks like Thanos. I got another painting over here. This one looks pretty, actually.
That's my favorite piece, painted for me by a child prodigy from Elysium. She was the cutest thing. She was kidnapped by slavers who hoped to sell her on Omega. I wasn't about to let that happen.
Hopefully
I set up an idea as a buyer's rep to get a special tour of the slaver's vessel. Once aboard, I freed the girl and smuggled her off the ship. She painted that for me on the way home. I'll never forget how it felt to watch her work.
I would have been very inclined to put the reactor in meltdown or leave a bomb on board or plant evidence so they'd get picked up at the next dock, something like that. And I guess she likes to read too. She's got quite the collection.
Don't laugh, I like those books. Romance novels, crime novels, the classics. There's something about the feel of actual paper in your hands, their musty smell. It's relaxing. KG used to find books for me while on the job. Some of these are more valuable than the objects he was hired to steal.
On that, I agree wholeheartedly, actually. We're kind of in the age of Kindles and reading online right now, but personally, I hate that. There's something about the feeling of an actual book in your hands that just can't be replaced. I love reading actual books, turning the page and all that stuff. It's like addictive in a way. It's a really good way to relax before you go to sleep. I have a hard time shutting my brain down sometimes when I'm in bed, and reading a book usually gets the job done.
Commander, those provisions you provided were perfect. I owe you. I've already thrown together some of my calamari gumbo. Here, try a bite.
Why not? For morale. The face light up.
Truth told, it's based on an Asari recipe. Seems a little cannibalistic to me with their tentacle heads and all, but they ain't no good grub. Anyway, thanks again. You really came through.
And don't mention to any Asari we end up having on board. I don't think they'd be pleased with the reference to Tentacle Head.
How may I help you, Commander?
I have a present for you, Doc.
Sarah's ice brandy? You didn't. Thank you. I always regretted not opening that original bottle when I still could. I won't make the same mistake again. Why don't we open this bottle right here, right now, you and me?
I don't see why not.
You crack open the bottle. I'll get the glasses.
It'd be interesting seeing Dr. Chakwas let her hair down a little bit. I wonder what she's like when she's drunk.
I thought Alenko's biotic display might have broken Jenkins' back, but Jenkins pops up and yells, "That was awesome!" Oh, Jenkins. Soldiers like him make the Alliance great. Cerberus lacks the same enthusiasm.
With your service record, you could have gotten a tour of duty on any Alliance ship. Why'd you really leave?
Maybe it's less about leaving and more about staying. As a military doctor, I mostly treat people who are in bad shape. Often they die. And if I can help them, they move on. Either way, they leave.
And that's an interesting mental aspect to being a doctor, right? Although on a warship, you're constantly assigned to the same crew. It's part of a consistent family, really. You got the same staff coming and going with small issues, big issues. Probably nice to feel needed, right?
Don't you have any friends or family?
No, not lacking friendship. Just stability. Jeff, Joker will always have Vrolic syndrome. He would never admit it, but he needs my help, and he always will. I wish it weren't, but sadly, it's true.
Treating Joker gives you a kind of stability.
So does this ship, even if it's a copy. Or, hell, maybe it's you, Shepard. Our immovable center. A place for a person to stop and catch her breath. Or maybe I'm just happily drunk. Would it hurt if it was simple like that for once?
Well, there it is. Toast to simple things. I don't think that would hurt at all.
Here's to simply being happily drunk.
I'll drink to that.
I think we already have, but it seems like we're gonna kill off the whole bottle here. And if the swaying screen is any indication, and Dr. Chakwas being laid the hell out on the medbed, I think we did indeed finish off the bottle. Anyways, we'll go walk that off. Maybe our cybernetic implants can help us sober up a little bit quicker. We didn't end up getting the node for the engineers down there yet, but we do need to go to our cabin because now we have a couple things. Feed the fish. Here's our Ilium scald fish. Go ahead and feed them, make sure they don't die. They're gonna go on up and nom 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 on that. We got some more ships for our collection here, and here is the man himself. I love the little squeak sound effect there. Anyways, that's enough of the Normandy crew for now. We don't need to catch up with anybody else just yet. So, Omega is next on our list. We do need to go there for a lot of important things. We gotta pick up some crew members. We gotta get that part that I was just talking about for the engineers down the Dawkins. The Donnelly and Daniels, I think. But before we do any of that, we do need to go get the Normandy crash site, because we blew almost all of our cash stack on the Citadel getting all that stuff. So now we gotta go and make some money. Normandy crash site is a perfect way to do that. And it's some nice little callbacks too to the rest of the franchise. So we'll go straight up to the Armada cluster and we'll get the Normandy crash site taken care of. I might actually also clear out this whole system, but I'm not going to do that on camera because, again, the system scanning stuff, I'm not going to sit you all through that. Like, there's only so much of this I feel like you could watch
Probe launched.
before you just want to, like, poke your own
Research
eyeballs out,
projects
right?
platinum is used
It's
to
boring
upgrade
for me to
sniper
do,
rifles,
so I can't imagine
shotguns,
it's
and
fun
medical
for somebody to
equipment.
watch. So I'll go ahead and do all this kind of stuff on my own
Research
time.
projects. Palladium is used to upgrade.
And you kind of see in there on the corner
cybernetics.
why I said not to do anything that's not rich, because, what, it's like 972? Now it's at 300. Sorry, now it's at 831, so less than 1,000, but it's still better than it is when it's on moderate. But rich is where that's where the juice is. That's the ones you actually want to do. That's probably all we're going to get out of this system that'll be worth it anyway, so let's just go and get the Normandy crash site taken care of, and I can clear out the rest of these planets in my own time.
Anomaly detected.
And the anomaly detected is there is still some planet scanning missions here where you'll actually land, but it's in the version of small anomalies like this. So what I would recommend doing is getting this right off rip.
On our sensors.
You'll get this first to get it off your scanner so you can actually look around, and then you can go ahead and scan the planet in your own time. This one is rich, so we actually do want to clear out all of this as best we can, so I will go ahead and scan some of this stuff. I guess while we do go ahead and planet scan, I can mention that I've been watching some animes in between recordings. Been getting back into my show bullshit of watching a bunch of media on the side while I edit and things like that. And I watched two really, really good animes. One of them was called God of High School, which my brother has read the manga of, and he always told me it was good. But that show is way like Dragon Ball. If there are any fans of Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball in general, who watch my videos, you will probably like the anime God of High School, because it's clearly heavily inspired. I mean, the main character is so similar to Goku, it's unbelievable. And if anybody here likes the game Black Myth Wukong, you probably also like that anime, God of High School, because, well, telling you why would be spoilery, but I think if you like Wukong, you'll like that anime. I'll just leave that there. But it's very good. It's like a Dragon Ball, but with better fight scenes, because one criticism I see a lot of people have with Dragon Ball, and I share it, is it's a lot of talking. Like, back in the day, it was epic, but whenever I've tried to revisit it, it's just, I've been kind of like skimming through some of the dialogue and trying to get to the action or whatever. God of High School's fight scenes are phenomenal. They're actually better than Dragon Ball's, I'd say. But it has that same kind of vibe, right? It's the tournament, see who's the strongest, and then the winner of the tournament gets to make a wish, basically. So it's all the different high school provinces. They all send champions to this tournament where they all fight it out, and then the winner gets their wish granted. That's like the basic premise setup of the show. I'm pretty confident after finishing the first season of recommending that to anybody. If you like anime, you'll probably like that. I can say that pretty confidently. We're almost done with this world. There's never really that many nodes. Like, now it's depleted, so now if we scan further, we won't get anything. So that's the wraps on that. So now we can land up and get this Normandy crash side done. Yeah, it's not too fun, but it is what it is. I would have preferred to have the Mako than that, but people didn't like the Mako, so here we are. Honestly, I think the planet scanning and the dialogue restrictions are probably the only two downsides of this game. Everything else is pretty close to perfect. And this is where she landed, Sabebe. Nice haunting little atmosphere on this place too. There won't be any combat to speak of on this planet. We are really just here looking for these tags, and there are 20 of these tags. There's also a helmet, some side stuff we can get, but we're really mainly here looking for these tags. We have 20 squad members that are unaccounted for. That's what Hackett told us, so keep your eyes on a swivel for anything related to that. We're also going to get these cool little flashbacks of certain Normandy members and how it used to look before she crashed here and was turned into ash. Which is really cool, actually. They know how to punch you in the heart. Bioware knows how to make you experience pain for something you hold dear. Give them that. Quick snapshot of her in the Citadel. Seems like a pretty good place to have the monument, right? beautiful piano track. So now we just gotta get this lost crew stuff, and then we can hop on the shuttle and head on back. They're just kind of scattered around. You do have to break these boxes when you run into them, because there'll be some dog tags in here too. Which is a strange one, right? Like how dog tags ended up being organized into crates like this. Not quite sure how that would end up happening. There's a lot of weird things about the fate of the Normandy and how the collector vessel found us out there while we were hunting down Geth, and how we just caught us with our pants down straight up, right? Totally unprepared. The way Miranda said accident is the first little tip that maybe that's not exactly what it seems. And I have my theories, but we'll talk about them as we get further on in the game. But I don't necessarily think... Here's where Caden Alenko used to stand. May he rest in peace. Yeah, I don't necessarily believe that it was an accident. I think we became politically inconvenient, which is why we were sent where we were sent. But, you know, who pulled the trigger on that remains to be seen. I guess we'll talk more about that and decide more about that as we progress through the game. But accident, I think not. It just seems weird that you would be able to be ambushed out there like that. The other anime that I was going to tell you guys about while we were planet scanning there, it's called Cleaver Test. There's actually only 4 episodes, at least right now, of Cleaver Test that are available on Crunchyroll, but that's also really good. The basic premise / setup of that show is that it opens with a demon in the forest, right? And there's a band of knights sent to kill said demon. Well, they all get mauled to death, straight cleaned out. And then there's a baby with this band of knights that were in the woods. And the demon gets curious about the baby, decides to adopt the baby, and then put itself into a human form to take care of the baby. And then that's the basic setup of that without getting into spoilers. It's the cryo bay. I wonder, is there more cryopods on the new Normandy now? Because this is just 3, 4. No, it's still 4 apiece. 20 crew members and 8 cryopods. People are not taking even sleeping shifts. What's that tag? How many are we at now? 10. So we're halfway done. Some element 0 too. Here's our baby, the Mako. Really hurts my feelings that it's there crashed into the ice like that. The crazy thing about the Mako is this bitch probably still runs perfectly. That thing is chunky. The Mako survived going through a Mass Effect relay, so I'm pretty sure you could get in that right now and turn the key, and I'm pretty sure she'd start. And this tag right here. Yeah, I would much rather have the Mako than all the other stuff we've been given in this game, but it is what it is, right? We can't do anything about it. The hammerhead sections in this game are fun, and the hammerhead sections are literally what the Mako was in ME1, but they cut the hammerhead out of this game and made it a DLC, and then you have the planet scanning thing. I would have much rather them just had the hammerhead sections. The old cockpit. I mean, she literally broke in half when she crashed. Memories. There's a pretty cool codex down on this planet too about Chief Navigator Presley. You'll get to see where he was mentally before the accident, in air quotes, happened. Which is cool too that they expanded on a character that's deceased. I like the attention to detail that Bioware used to put into everything. It's fun seeing the level of care and things like that. Like, Presley's gone. They didn't need to do that. They just did, because they cared. It's the kind of thing you used to be able to expect out of a Bioware product. One of the drop pods. I'm guessing whoever was in that one didn't make it. Yeah, I would be really curious to know how these tags got into these little crates here. Like, nobody came to the Normandy crash site. Since we crashed, nobody came to clean all this stuff up or investigate. Because the fact that shit is just like sitting there, organized in crates, like obviously somebody has been here. And our body was recovered too. And I would assume that we landed somewhere close to the Normandy, right? Since we were on board. Like, we got exploded out the side, but I imagine we both got sucked into this planet's orbit. So this is probably where Shepard landed too. There's our baby. God, I miss the Mako. Never thought I'd say that, but those Mako sections where you're driving around on planets, shooting the cannon at stuff, getting into fights, I actually really appreciate that. It'll be 18, right? Indeed, so we got 2 more tykes to get. This is 19. And the last one is right there. That's number 20. That's the nav map. Over here is going to be the thing for Navigator Presley, which I was talking about. Entry 1. Unrecoverable data. Data recovered. Spoke to the commander about this. I, corrupt. All these damned aliens aboard the Alliance's most advanced ship. I just don't trust them. Especially that damned Asari and Aquarian. What does Shepard think this is? A zoo? And you'll remember him talking to us when we first met him about his concerns of aliens on board and how he doesn't trust Turians, things like that. Unrecoverable data. Data recovered. With the Quarian, it seems she's on some kind of pilgrimage, trying to improve the lot of her home ship. I can understand that. I wouldn't, and I assume this is wouldn't trust Aquarian to babysit my children or anything, but if she has to be on board, I suppose that's not too bad. You see, here he's kind of coming around to the fact, right? And here's the last one. Unrecoverable data. For a while now, and I'm taking a look back at past entries in this journal, I can't believe how blind I was at the time. I came on this ship firmly believing humanity was on its own in the galaxy. Commander Shepard brought all these aliens on board, and there's no way we could have accomplished what we did without them. I am proud to say I would die for any member of this crew, regardless of what world they were born on. So Presley did eventually come around. He loved the alien crew members just like they were Alliance, just the same as everybody else, right? Right here said he was proud to say he'd die for any member of the crew. He ended up a good man. And he was always a good man, right? Presley gets levied with the same kind of accusations that Ashley Williams does, the whole like space racist thing, but I mean, we went over that a lot in the first Mass Effect games Let's Play, but I still feel the same way, man. I'm not buying it. Not buying the whole space racist thing. And he is something special. Shepard's lost N7 helmet was recovered, and that's our helmet from the first game. So now we have all kinds of goodies. Go ahead, back to the Normandy now. Yeah, it's just a nice touch, right? Visiting the Normandy's graveyard like that, seeing things. It's nice. I like that they did that for us. So what we ought to do here, I think, we'll go back to the Normandy, we'll see how much money we got, and we'll get the message from Hackett thanking us for doing this. And then I might get the planetary scanning stuff done in this sector first, before we move on to Omega. I guess I could do that. Yeah, I could pause the episode, get the planetary scanning done, and if we don't find anywhere to land, then I can head to Omega before we wrap up. So, mission summary. A monument has been placed at the last resting place of the SSV Normandy on Alkera, and the families of all missing crew members have been notified of their ultimate sacrifice. Shepard's lost N7 helmet was recovered. We got 240 experience, and we gained 4,000. Which is not too much, actually, but there's a lot we need to buy on Omega too, so we definitely need the cash. So if we go to our unread messages, Normandy crash site data received. Commander Shepard, the Alliance was grateful to receive the information you found at the Normandy's crash site, and we've sent it out to the affected families. By finding those dog tags, you have provided peace of mind for a lot of people, Commander. Thank you on their behalf. That's obviously important for anybody to deal with, right? Just, you'll never find the bodies if they were lost out in space. It's not going to happen, but at least finding the dog tags and kind of proof of where their final resting spot is, right? Maybe one day they can put a museum up there or something, right? And we can have people visit in the Normandy's crash site, and their family can go out there and pay their respects and things like that. I think that would be a nice touch. Anyways, so what I will probably do here is I will pause the episode. I'll go ahead and scan out all this planet stuff that we got to get done in this system, and then I'll catch you guys when we're ready to head into Omega, so bear with me. Alrighty, so we actually found a world with something to investigate, so let's take a look.
Beacon auto process interrupted at parse point ACO 655321. Status of system operator is not known. General distress. Beacon auto
what's going on
process
here?
interrupted at parse point AC.
Scans have found something.
Signal scans detect a transmitter matching Cerberus encryption. It is registered to an unknown deep cover operative. Cerberus operative life signs unconfirmed. Other transmissions that match known Eclipse coded communications also detected. Okay, so we found something to do with Cerberus down here on this planet. We will finish scanning this planet. Let's probably kill it off into depleted actually. It's already on full. Well, I guess not. And we'll look around for one more node. I like to clean it up completely before we move on. You enough to knock it into depleted? You're not. Okay. Well, I'm not going to waste probes. That all costs money to return. So let's get down landside and see what's going on here with the Cerberus distress beacon. If it's something that incriminates Cerberus, I can promise you that I am going to... well, it's going to find its way not back into Cerberus' hands and somewhere else. So let's level up your Master Thief immediately. Get you all the way on up. So we have weapon damage at 18, health 20, and recharge time is 25. So basically this is a trade for weapon damage or recharge time. Given that Kasumi is who Kasumi is, I think what I really want here would be the recharge time, right? Because it's a little smidge extra weapon damage, but their abilities are what beefs it up anyways. Like, our weapons are doing the heavy lifting, but it's their abilities that do the heavy lifting. So let's go Master Infiltrator. Let's get you a little beefier with your powers. I'll save Miranda's points. We don't have any cool weapons for anybody yet, so... I remember this mission. Yeah, this will work out into quite a nice balance, actually, to wrap the episode on up, clearing this Cerberus facility. Right off the bat, let's get our warp ammo up. And actually, let's get rid of you. I don't need you on my bar at all. Unity can stay, but we don't need disruptor ammo. It's kind of garbage when you have warp. Warp does everything that disruptor does, plus, so... yeah, warp ammo is kind of like the thing in Mass Effect 2, where if you're not using it, you're thrown. Alright, so you hit that. Kasumi, you're going to do your special thing there. I'm going to hit this, and I'm going to try and get this guy dead. While Kasumi hopefully distracts Chuckles over there. Yeah, she got his barrier down single-handedly, though. The other thing, too, is let's not take any of these for granted. Again, this is Insanity. It might be early game, but they're still chunky. Kasumi's gonna be okay there, I think. Dagger him with Overlord, get him dead, and now we're gonna get some of our juice back here.
Affirmative.
Now you see me.
We're gonna get Kasumi to do her magic on that lead operative, though.
I'll tear you apart.
And this is a pretty good taste into how this game's gonna go. We'll be fighting all the different suspects, right? And the first game is pretty much Geth or like human bandits go. Here, you're gonna fight all the big mercenary factions in the universe. We're gonna get some new enemy types too. There's gonna be a lot of interesting stuff going on in Mass Effect 2 enemy-wise. A lot of variation here. The combat is very much refined.
Going dark.
More variation, more new unique enemy types. You took very, very long to hit that Overlord, Miranda.
On my screen.
First. That's the end of them. Okay, so the security logs are going to be for after. Maybe we just do this right now. So, subject ID. Interrogator. Corporal Giro. Subject. Cerberus Agent Tyrone Rawlings. Eclipse targeted agent Rawlings some time ago. We know Rawlings is connected to the encrypted data we acquired. The data could conclusively prove Cerberus's involvement in Rachni experiments. We believe Rawlings possesses a cipher that can be used to decrypt the data. Without his cipher, the data could take years for Eclipse to decode. And we know for a fact they were involved in the Rachni experiments as well as the Threshermore experiments. We were there. We stopped those experiments, so they were definitely onto something here. Agent Rollins proved difficult to capture, having insinuated himself on a ship bound for the Attican Traverse. He had won over the loyalty of the ship's crew, who believed him to be a human dignitary on a mission of discovery. Our own agents managed to disable the ship and hobble its defenses long enough to extract Agent Rawlings. We lost a lot of men to obtain this asset. This data had better be worth the expense. The interrogation has failed. Despite some of our most advanced interrogation techniques, Agent Rawlings managed to evade our questions. When we applied more invasive methods, he proved resistant to those as well. Eventually, Agent Rawlings' resistance caused tempers to flare. We considered it unfortunate that Agent Rawlings did not live to pass on the cipher. We have men working to decipher the encryption now. As long as we control this data, its mere existence remains a powerful tool against Cerberus. Indeed it does, and for everything you say about Cerberus, they don't build him with shaky legs, right? Of course he didn't fold to the torture. I mean, I imagine any kind of fate that those mercenaries could have done to him is nothing compared to what the Illusive man would do if he folded, right? At a certain point, it's not about picking if you get to live or not, it's picking about how you'd like to die, and I think Cerberus can do worse than whatever these mercenaries were doing to him in the torture. I'll gladly take all their credits, though. Yes, please. Let's take a look at what weapons we have here. We have the sniper rifle. Let's ding our warp ammo on this. We'll mess around with the sniper a little bit. I'm curious. Got something else to decode here. This is going to start the next wave of fun. Let's see is the... That's our needle. 2 prongs there, and then there's only 2 left. Yeah, I like this fun little memory game. The code juggling one that we have to do eventually, not too fond of that, but that one I like. Beefy enough to one-shot, 1 kill.
Careful, Shepard.
Kasumi, you're crazy. I'm crazier. Yeah, sniping in this game is very fun with Adrenaline Rush or the Infiltrator ability, the invisible one. It's all good. But he's cooked. Kasumi, you're gonna do that.
Enemy down.
Damn it.
That one's hit.
We've been spotted.
So we got like 1 shot left relay that we can afford to take carefully with this. Now we'll go back to the AR because things are getting a little out of control with us sniping. Don't have that same level of battlefield control like that. Just watch out for his flame stuff because that'll mess you up and it'll stagger you. Don't get hit by his flamethrower ability, but everything else you don't have to worry about it too much. His shields are almost down, but then we're gonna have to work on his armor after that. Okay, that's his armor. Now you can warp, you can do that. I'll do this, and we'll just give him a bad day. Good job, Kasumi. You shoved him in cover. You're colluding. He's dead all the same. Beautiful. Yeah, Cerberus operatives would be pretty cool if they weren't like the bad guys of the franchise. Going on these secret missions, getting captured and interrogated. So it's all kind of like James Bond-esque stuff. Cerberus is a pretty cool villain, and I like that they on... It is black and white because we know what we know, but it's not at the same time, right? Sometimes in a lot of media, when people sign up or subscribe to a certain organization, you can find yourself sitting there like, why the hell would you do that? Nobody would sign up for this. But with Cerberus and the state of the galaxy, you totally understand why people would do this, right? I get wholeheartedly by why people would be taken in by Cerberus, why they would hear their mission statement and see that nobody else is doing shit about anything, and be like, you know what, sign me up for that. I can see it, which makes it more believable in the long run. It's nice when things aren't so black and white. I appreciate that. And even look at Jacob Taylor, right? He's in here doing what he's doing, knowing all the bad, but they do good, which balances out for him. And I understand why it does for him. Is Rollins. It's not a good place to die. You wouldn't pick it.
This computer contains the encrypted intelligence extracted from the captured Cerberus agent. The information could adversely affect Cerberus if it were ever circulated publicly.
That'd be real unfortunate, wouldn't it? Well, not that I trust the Alliance to actually do it, because they're kind of one and the same since they had connections, so I'm sure the Alliance would like to sweep all this under the rug too. But I'm willing to give them the opportunity to prove themselves. I work for the Alliance at the end of the day. Cerberus is funding me, but the Alliance and Earth is where my heart's at, not the Illusive man. So we're gonna go ahead and give this to the Alliance.
Data uploaded to Alliance Command.
It's where it belongs. And I'm glad to see that EDI is actually willing to let us do that, right? It's again just kind of proving our command over the situation. There's no block there on EDI or any of our operatives telling them that they can't let us do what we deem fit. So we really are in command too. Because obviously our team wouldn't be as effective if they could all of a sudden guess our judgment. So the Illusive man's true to his word. Cerberus command chain is respecting us. They're gonna do what we say, which is nice to see. Brownie points, I suppose. The mission summary here is Cerberus operative Tyrone Rawlings was found dead. Encrypted data transmitted to Alliance for decryption. We got another 8,000 credits out of that, and we got 800 platinum. And we also got a level up, which you just heard some Mass Effect 1 level up music there briefly. I'm not sure what that's doing in this game. It shouldn't be here. It's pretty interesting. Let's see if we got any more unread messages here. We do. So, from Alliance Commander, we got the data you sent. If this went public, it could do some serious damage to Cerberus's image. This intel will take years to decode, but just having it is a huge win for the Alliance. Well done, Shepard. Good luck on your mission. Anderson. And I am not surprised that Anderson appreciates that, and shit, he might actually get something done about it. So we got 2 points now. We already did Shock Trooper all the way. Warp Ammo is pretty good. I mean, currently it's doing plus 25% of weapon damage. It'll be 35, and then eventually we get to pick if it's going to be increasing the damage, or if it's going to give it to the whole squad. So I like to do the whole squad. They get it a reduced effect, but it's still 35% weapon damage on top of, and then everybody else gets it too. So it's pretty good like that. But now I think what I'll do is get the recharge time down on Adrenaline Rush so we can start poking our head out and sniping and snapping around more. And honestly, given that, I think that's a pretty good place to wrap things on up. I'll finish clearing out this system, and then I'll probably catch you guys next time when we can head to Omega. So thank you for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, leave a like and a comment. If you want to support the cause and help improve the channel, please do check out those links in the description below. Otherwise, stay tuned, and I'll see you soon with more Mass Effect 2. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Peace.